it happened. Today, the world quietly split in two, and nobody noticed. September 22nd is supposed to be the autumn equinox, light and dark in perfect balance. And while it is, that's only the surface. Because something else is happening right now, something far more dramatic, far more unsettling, and most people will never realize they lived through it. The equinox is already spiritually powerful on its own, a major turning point in energy. But this one isn't alone. It's tied to something much bigger, an event many of us have quietly sensed, waited for. You have no idea what's about to take place. The autumn equinox has triggered a rapture, but this rapture isn't about disappearing. It's about crossing over. Imagine it like this. One version of you gets left behind, and another version steps forward. More awake, more alive, more real than ever before. The equinox didn't just balance the scales, it tilted them, forcing you to choose which version of yourself continues past this point. And here's the twist. This shift doesn't just affect you. It's reshaping the people around you, the world you walk in, the very reality you wake up to tomorrow morning. Most chosen ones have awaited a long time for a moment like this, and now it's here. The people who once dismissed you will find themselves unable to ignore you now. The equinox didn't just balance light and dark, it shifted spiritual authority. For years, chosen ones were overlooked, mocked, or silenced. Today marks the point where that invisibility starts to break. The same people who turn their backs will feel a pull they can't explain, finding themselves drawn to your presence, watching what you do, and paying attention in ways they never did before. This isn't about speaking louder or forcing recognition. It's about reality itself, beginning to tilt toward you. The equinox energy has reset the weight of things. Those who were ignored are now undeniable. Those who carried truth in silence suddenly feel the world bending to meet them. It begins subtly. A person who once disregarded you suddenly remembers something you said and treats it as wisdom. Someone who once looked down on you now pauses when you speak, unable to brush it aside. The shift is almost eerie because you didn't change your effort. The field around you changed its response. The return of presence is not a gift, it's a correction. The equinox has torn away the layers that muffled chosen ones, and what remains is sharp, clear, and unmissable. From this point forward, your energy doesn't just enter a room, it rearranges it. And for those who once thought you were insignificant, the realization will be uncomfortable, because they are now faced with a truth they can no longer avoid. The silence around you is breaking. The weight of your presence is back, and this time, there is no turning it off. If you thought you were awake before, today proves you've only seen the preview. This equinox is not a repeat of an old awakening. It's a deeper, more ruthless unmasking. The first wake-up cracked the surface. It gave you glimpses, curiosity, a taste for more. The second awakening shatters the foundation beneath those glimpses. It strips out the safety nets you've been clinging to and forces a reconfiguration at a scale that demands irreversible change. This is not a rerun. This is the upgrade your soul didn't ask for, but badly needed. Expect clarity that refuses to be negotiated. Where you once tolerated half-truths, you'll now feel an abrasive discomfort that pushes you to act or walk away. Relationships that were maintained by convenience will no longer fit the sharper edges of who you are becoming. Jobs and roles that dulled you will feel intolerably small. It won't be theatrical overnight, it will be persistent and unmistakable. A steady pressure toward truth that accelerates decision-making and exposes what was merely comfortable versus what is actually aligned. This awakening is anatomical. It reaches into the architecture of how you make choices. Your priorities reorder themselves not by theory, but by immediate felt sense. What feels light and what feels untenable. Synchronicities intensify in practical ways. Not just spiritual poetry, signs, meetings, and opportunities align with an almost surgical precision for those who act. The second awakening doesn't hand you answers as much as it removes everything that made old answers plausible, so you are forced to build from a truer place. There's risk and reward in that rupture. For some, it will feel like losing parts of life they once thought secure. For others, it will feel like being given permission to become someone the old world cannot hold. The choice isn't theological, it's existential. Will you allow the new architecture to form, even if it costs you certainty? Today makes that question unavoidable. You cannot belong to the old and the new at the same time. This is the part most people don't want to admit. The Equinox rapture feels exhilarating if you move with it, but crushing if you fight against it. Those who sense the shift, yet cling to the comfort of their old lives, will find themselves stretched between two worlds. It's like trying to hold your breath in two different realities at once. The result isn't clarity, it's pressure. Confusion starts to creep in. Restlessness gnaws at the edges of daily routines. Even the things that once brought security begin to feel hollow. But stepping into the new feels terrifying. That's the tension of being torn, the refusal to let go of one identity while the other is already pulling you forward. For some, this tension may express itself emotionally, sudden waves of sadness, irritability, or emptiness with no obvious cause. For others, it shows up physically, a tiredness that doesn't match their activity, or a wired energy that makes rest impossible. The body becomes a battlefield where two timelines collide, and the harder someone resists, the sharper the strain feels. But here's the thing, this isn't punishment, it's an invitation. That discomfort is the signal that the old framework has expired. It's not a curse, it's a call. The pressure you feel is not breaking you, it's breaking what no longer belongs to you. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means finally stepping into the current that has been waiting for you all along. So if you're watching this and you felt unsettled, torn between wanting more and clinging to what's familiar, know this. You're not malfunctioning. You're transitioning. And the moment you stop fighting the split, the moment you let yourself move with it, the heaviness dissolves. What feels like loss in resistance becomes relief in surrender. That's the hidden mercy of this equinox. It forces a choice, but in doing so, it frees you from limbo. The universe never forgets the hands that gave without receiving. The equinox rapture is not just a test, it's also a payout. For years, some of you have lived with invisible weight, giving more than you received, standing strong when nobody noticed, carrying burdens in silence while the world moved on. You've endured, and often it felt like the endurance went unseen, unrewarded, unrecognized. But today's equinox flips that balance. It is the return of a long-owed debt. Think of it this way. Every moment of suffering has been accumulating interest, stored in a vault beyond your sight. Every time you chose integrity over convenience, every time you kept walking when it would have been easier to quit, every time you showed kindness that was met with indifference, it all built a pressure in the unseen. And when the veil thinned today, that pressure snapped. The equinox delivered a release, and that release isn't abstract. It takes form in opportunities, in breakthroughs, in alignments that suddenly tilt in your favor. The ones who carried silent struggles often carry the deepest potential, and the rapture doesn't overlook that. It isn't here to erase your past. It's here to reward it. Your scars are now your credentials. What once weakened you becomes proof you are ready. Expect small signs first. A conversation that shifts unexpectedly, a door that opens when it was locked before, a situation that turns in your favor after years of stagnation. Then, expect larger ones, the recognition, the movement, the vindication that reminds you none of your pain was wasted. This isn't about revenge or scorekeeping, it's about rebalancing. The equinox doesn't punish the world on your behalf, it magnifies you so the world can no longer deny you. It lifts the weight you carried and repositions it as fuel. And the most empowering part? This is not temporary. Once the reward is set in motion, there's no putting the lid back on it. Your time of unseen suffering has ended. Your time of being seen has begun. Miss it, and you'll wait 6 more months. The autumn equinox isn't just another date on the calendar, it's a hinge in time. Twice a year, once in March and once in September, the scales of light and dark balance perfectly. That moment isn't symbolic, it's mechanical. It's a door creaking open in the machinery of the cosmos, and if you slip through it, you step into alignment that cannot be accessed on ordinary days. Today is one of those rare alignments. Think about it. Every other day of the year, the Earth leans, tilts, favors one pole or the other. But on the equinox, the axis stills. For just a few hours, it's not tipping toward the sun or away from it. That neutrality is the doorway. That pause is the portal. And just like a door that swings open and then shuts again, it doesn't linger. Once it closes, you're locked out until the next cycle. Miss it, and you'll wait 6 more months. And 6 months in this world is a lifetime.